third video in our series of videos on safety shower and eye wash best practice in the workplace. And throughout this series, we're looking at safety showers and eye washes as pieces of risk reduction equipment and reducing the litigation exposure, the litigation risk that businesses have should an injury occur in the workplace. And in this video, we're going to look at temperature and water quality considerations. Temperature can be very important, and the temperature of the environment can be very, very important when considering safety showers. And the first thing that we'll look at is frost protection. If a shower or an eye wash is likely to be exposed to sub-zero temperatures, if it were to freeze, it wouldn't work, and if it doesn't work when needed, then it's effectively as if that shower isn't there. So that exposes the company immediately to the same risks as if they didn't have any shower at all, and that would mean you wouldn't have adequate first aid equipment, and therefore you would be exposed to all of the litigation risks that come with that. So frost protection is an absolute must when it comes to any shower that's deployed outside in the UK or in any other condition where sub-zero temperatures might occur. What we must note with frost protected showers is the water that comes out of them is still going to be very, very cold. The frost protection is trace tape heating and insulation, and all it does is keep that water from actually freezing. The water could still be at 1 or 2 degrees, still could be absolutely freezing cold. And this has some important implications for the types of shower we deploy. In the American standards, in the ANSI standards, they stipulate that all showers should have a tepid water supply, so within a certain temperature range, a warm temperature range. In the European standards, in the EN and the BS standards, there is no such compulsion, and often people make the mistake of thinking that that means that it's completely unnecessary. But this is not true. This can be a false perception, because what we need to consider is that shower able to be used as stipulated by the safety shower standards. The safety shower standards state that a person should remove all of their clothing when under the shower and should be under that shower for 15 minutes. So if we think about that in the context of an outdoor shower on a cold winter's day with freezing cold water coming out of it, is that actually usable? Is that actually possible for a normal human being to actually withstand a cold shower outside naked on a cold winter's day? And the answer to that is no. The risk of hypothermia, a hypothermic shock, and severe damage by taking such a cold shower on a cold winter's day outside is likely to, or possible to, outweigh the actual risk of the damage being caused by the acid or alkali splash. It's probably not possible for a reasonable person to be expected to use the shower as stipulated. As such, it could be very easily argued that the shower and thus first aid equipment was not fit for purpose. Therefore, the company would be exposed to exactly the same litigation risk as if they didn't have adequate first aid equipment, because they don't, because it couldn't be used. We strongly advise all customers to actually look at the water temperature being delivered through their showers, depending on the environment that it's going into. Think of the worst case scenario. Think of that very, very cold winter's day. Could a person actually use the shower? Warm water showers with a warm water supply are highly recommended in those situations. There's one small caveat to that. Some chemical risks actually are higher if the water is tepid or warm. And so you always need to balance that between the actual risk of the specific chemical that you're protecting against and whether the chemistry of that is such that having a tepid shower would actually increase the risk to the person being contaminated with that. So you need to have a balance. But on the whole, generally speaking, having a tepid water supply, having a warm water supply to your safety shower is a very, very good idea, particularly if it's going to be used in cold conditions. And doing so will reduce that litigation risk even further.